Hi, this is Ruth Theresa with One Inspiring Woman, and today we're talking about Mercury going into the sign of Gemini and how many doors is that really going to open for us. That's right, our planet of communication, which is Mercury, is going into the very chatty Cathy energy of Gemini, and I will tell you the mix of these two is going to be kind of really social. It's one of those, they always kind of enjoy opening up, and they kind of play on each other's energy really, really well. So this is kind of like that planet of that planet of knowledge, the planet of communication. It has really kind of two home signs, kind of Gemini and Virgo. Right now, with it in kind of like opening up into the sign of Gemini, is all about like opening up doors and kind of clearing out like old things that we've been thinking and kind of clearing things off the plate. So you may hear a lot of people saying like, this is the last time I'm going to say this, or this is the energy that I want to let go of, kind of like letting things go. But I will also tell you, it also makes everybody a little more flexible because they're willing to talk things out, where before they might be like, I'm not talking. Now they're willing to talk about things and think about things. And this is a great time to kind of like open up to that like new breath, new energy, kind of like talking it out with other people, things that you've wanted to talk about but you haven't really wanted to talk about. This is the time. This is a great time to do all of this. Mercury is the planets of like analytics and facts and ideas, and loves communication, loves to talk things out, and it's in this amazing Gemini energy, which is an air sign, which is all about like the breath of talking things out. Because these two come together kind of to bring this new flow to our communication of listening and hearing, and this great flow between the two of them, know that this is going to bring a lot of changes to our world. This is a kind of like, we've been feeling like being pulled into so many different directions and kind of like, I'm not sure where I want to go. I feel chaotic. Now with Gemini in the sign of Mercury in the sign of Gemini, let's say it correctly, okay, is all about like communication and like thinking about like how to hang on to things and how to change things around. This is a great way to kind of like really relax, take it easy, and allow this energy to come in. Both Mercury and Gemini are all about open communication and feeling like the meaning of life and kind of like working towards all of that. And the bigger picture is we all want to work at that. We all want to like work well at what we're supposed to be doing. Mercury in Gemini might give you some ideas of like how to write a novel, or how to communicate differently, or how to talk to your boss the right way, or how to kind of feel this out. Now, I will tell you, when Mercury goes into retrograde in the sign of Gemini, it is going to kind of feel like chatty Cathy is like, shut her door. Oh my gosh, it is going to feel like kind of like this miscommunication, this I can't really get my thoughts or my feelings together, kind of like, how do I do this and how do I deal with all of this? Yeah, it's going to be kind of crazy. I will tell you, retrograde kind of brings a lot of mishaps with communication, or kind of like a lot of like, we're talking but you're not listening, or you're talking and I'm not listening kind of energy. Now, this can be also kind of resolved by like getting closer to face-to-face communication. When you are having a miscommunication and someone's coming in and like not being clear, a lot of times what you really need to do is be hearing their voice. What is their voice about this? What are they voicing out with all of this? Because a lot of times misunderstandings are because you thought I said this and I really said this. And I will tell you, more than anything else, the people you are closest to are the ones that you're more likely to have miscommunications with. Your spouse, your partner, your brothers, your sisters, your neighbor, all of that kind of, the people that are right next door to you are the ones that are be like, oh my gosh, like, how are we having so many problems? I will tell you that Gemini will be adding a lot more issues traveling with Mercury. Mercury in retrograde normally has a lot of traveling issues, but with Gemini, it's going to be even more because people are not going to be communicating well. They might cancel a flight, but they didn't tell everybody else. All of those weird kind of like, how do we work through all of this energy? Just know that that's kind of what we're dealing with right now. It's like this really kind of, how do we deal with this part? Mercury in retrograde can really like cramp our style, kind of give us like, especially when we're traveling and not communicating and kind of not getting all of the information out, and where someone's cutting you out, it gets a little dicey there kind of thing. But know that it's okay for you to have miscommunications as long as you continue to work it out, as long as you continue to talk about it. It's going to make it so much easier. So make sure that you're talking about things, you're clearing things up, you're allowing things to come to a new healed state. I will tell you one of the fun parts is kind of Gemini in retrograde also brings a lot of like talkativeness, of like kind of feeling engaged, but also kind of feeling very playful and very jovial with like your communication. So a lot of people cracking jokes, a lot of people talking about things. And I will tell you, it also brings up a lot of like energy of like, how do I figure this out? How do I work through things? And that's where I've been all day, is kind of working on like, how do I voice this out, or how do I say this part? These are the cool parts for us of like, this communication is really important. This communication is important that we talk this all out and get on the same page. So with Mercury in the sign of Gemini, things will get a little dicey, but I guarantee you it may be really fun as well as we work through our communication issues. It's not meant to make you stumble and fall and have all these fights with other people. It's to show you where you've had problems in the past and where you could make corrections or clear up your communication with others. So let's do some angel cards. And this one is the first one coming out. And this is the third house, and it's all about communication. Who knew? But communication is not necessarily, I know a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, Mercury's in retrograde, we've got to run and hide. Don't run and hide. It is all about communication and clearing things up and getting that face-to-face communication as much as we possibly can. The next one is Leo, and this is all about the shine, kind of like clearing up that communication. When someone else is talking, this is a great time to be quiet, because if not, what you're doing is kind of like causing more problems and issues, because when someone doesn't feel heard, they usually feel like they have to repeat over and over and over again. I have to keep repeating this until I feel like I'm heard. So if you're not really listening, the person is keep repeating it, it's because they don't feel heard. So make them feel heard. Tell them like, I heard what you said. I heard how you felt about this. I heard how you want this to be this way, or whatever it is. So that's kind of the interesting energy with this, is making sure that other people are feeling heard, and so that they can stop saying the same things over and over again. Okay, this one is identified, and this is all about the strength. Dignified, like it's one of those, finding the strengths in all of this. Clearing up your communication with others is amazing, and it is super powerful. Make sure that you are clearing up that communication and making sure that you're getting your side heard, making sure that they feel heard as well, because that is going to kind of give everybody a different point of view or a different feeling with this. And we pick up Neptune with the vision. That's the problem, is a lot of times like people don't feel heard, and so when they don't feel heard, people are always re-saying it, re-talking about it, over and over and over again, and you're like, oh my gosh, I've heard it already. Well, if they don't feel heard, they're not gonna stop saying it until they feel heard. It's just the way it is. Our last card is Taurus, and this is all about cultivating, and this is about cultivating an energy with other people that you're going to hear them out. Even if you don't agree with them, you're going to hear them out. You are going to hear their side. You are going to clear it out and kind of make sure that you are using great words, that there's no miscommunications. Because when you're face to face and you say a word that someone else doesn't understand and they're like, what? You can clear it up right away. When you're over the internet, it makes it a little bit more difficult. If you're over the phone or even text messaging or emailing, those are way down the road, and those can really cause a lot of communication issues that you really want to avoid this time. I thank you so much for joining me today, and I know that we'll be talking again soon.